Hello there, my name is Anthony Barocas, and I have started a new series called Studio Critiques, where I take a look at people's studios and various things around the people use for creation and offer some thoughts on it. And I would be remiss about judging other people's studios without first judging mine. So, this is my studio. If you've seen any of my videos, they're filmed in this space. This is my green screen. And then behind me over here, I have a wall that I have used for many years in my AIBA studios. This is the backdrop I've used for that. And it includes lots of gear, including ENG lenses, my Micro Four Thirds cameras, some awards that I've made, Bolex cameras that I've used, some from Philly, more awards, personal stuff on one side, professional gear on the other side. And first thing I'm going to point out in this studio critique is the black that goes across the top has fallen down on this side. Oh my goodness, that's unsightly. Also, I know from actually trying to use this space that it's not fully 4x3. I can't use the whole thing. I actually need to extend it over there, so it's not properly, the aspect ratio is wrong, so I can tell you right there, there's a bunch of things wrong with this. But I like the kitschiness of it, and I actually had one person who I did a video in front of this wall, and they says, oh, that's a really cool background, green screen background you got there, and then I reached back and I picked something off of the supposed green screen background. I will also say it needs to be dusted. Over here I have the green screen, and it is held by a couple Bogan auto poles. Oh, I should say I've got a backlight over there when I use that one, and I get a backlight over here when I use this one. I do have sound treatment on the ceiling, and I've got carpet on the floor, and I've got carpet on the wall here. Originally I started with a carpeted backdrop, and that was going to be my backdrop, but the cameras can actually resolve the detail in there, so that didn't work. Then I actually have a gray backdrop over here, and then in front of that I put green, just because green allows me to use the gray or any color I want. So that has worked out well. If I'm going to critique it, this dip in the middle, not good at all. I will say I have purchased rollers so that I could hang multiple backdrops and go between them, and I haven't put it up. That's on me. So I'm critiquing my own studio. So welcome to this. Continuing over here, I'm actually, let me just spin this around. In front of me, this is what I see when I'm doing my production, and the light is going to throw everything off. But this is my 4-foot wide LED light, and you can see the banding. This is actually not a production light, and that's on me as well. There's a little bit of banding when the shutter goes way down. Like if I point the camera at it, the shutter's going to go way down, and you're going to see the banding. In most normal production, like when I'm here, you don't notice it. So it's not really been an issue, but yeah, I should have a real production light with a very high frequency refresh. That would be better. Critiquing my own studio. I've got a boom microphone up here. It used to be down here. I moved it up top. I've got an overhead camera. I'd like to have a better overhead camera. It would be nice. I've got my monitor here, and I've got a prompter right here, and my ZV-1, which is my current camera, is right behind that. ZV-1, I think, does a great job. 4K, HD, magic focus, locked on all the time. I can't really complain about that. The prompter works kind of okay. It would be nice. What I would love to do, and I think, if you're building a studio, this is a tip based on the fact that I've done this. I have a production monitor here, so I can see my program, but in the video, you constantly see me looking down to check the program. And just like now, I'm looking not at the camera, but I'm looking off to the side to see where my hand is in the shot. And to some people, that's distracting. So what I would love to do is have a much bigger monitor up here and have an actual LCD that I could switch. I think Aaron Parecki has one of these where he can switch what's shown on that monitor. So I can see my program up there and more easily refer left and right and point to things, but always be looking at the camera. And I think that would be a good improvement in terms of this studio. Down here, I used to do my production on a YOLO box. This is a YOLO Box Pro. This is the Magewell Director Mini. This is the current production tool that I use. And then, oddly enough, this gets captured and goes into a Surface that then goes to Restream for up to 6 destinations in my current plan. So that gets me Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and X, and Twitch, and I think there's another Facebook in there. And then for my sub switch, I've got this thing and the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. And what this does is this lets me switch what's in the box that's next to me, so I can switch between the laptop, the overhead, the side camera, the ultra, a vertical source, or a phone source, or a phone or tablet, and then my main camera. And I added my main camera over here, not that I'm going to have camera and camera, but I'm going to start leveraging this in terms of doing production on tutorials and things, and record ISOs, record all my ISOs. So I'll have my switched over here, but if I want to go back and get a cutaway of my camera, or get a cutaway of the laptop, or get a cutaway of the overhead, I will have all of my ISOs as well. So that's what that's going to be. And that's kind of like the setup over here. All of this is on a Husky table that I made a larger surface for, but it's a Husky table that I can raise and lower with a crank. So depending upon if something is larger and I want to move it lower, I can lower this or bring it up. And it kind of stays usually at one height, but that is a nice functionality that has worked for me. And it's on wheels, because originally this whole setup, the intent was this table and the light, actually the light, the microphones, my overhead camera, the prompter, and my monitor, they're all on a light stand, a really strong light stand, which is on 3 wheels. And this whole 2-piece thing rotates between looking at my AIBA set and looking at the green screen as needed. And that was a lot of work. So what I ended up doing was taking a picture of the AIBA set, and then I use it on the green screen. So I haven't moved this in a while. Pro tip. This is the view from the back. So you can see there's the light. Up top is the microphone. There's the light. Here's my overhead camera on a Manfrotto arm. Here is a side camera looking in from the side. Here's my ZV-1 with the hood. I've got an NDI adapter here for times when I need to bring it in for streaming. And then I've got a clamp on my monitor, and then power. These other cameras are set up for testing, so that's not a full-time thing. Over in this area, I'll just use a wide shot from far away. This is office desk. So this is my office desk studio. This is where I do all my officing. And then, as you've seen in several videos, this holds another table. Yes, I've got another table in this room. It's only 15 feet by 13 feet, but I've got multiple production spaces in this room. This is my live production studio. I've got 2 high-end Nook computers. That one is set up for a program I'm doing tomorrow, and this one I'm doing my editing on. This one's actually a little bit more powerful. This is Nook 11. That's a Nook 8. The Nook 11 is, I'm using that for editing, and so when I export, it exports really quick. And then handling all this, I've got a gigabit network, and I've got a Synology NAS that I use. Everything is backed up on. Studio monitors up here. That's pretty much it. And then I actually can move my mouse between these 2 different computers. I use an app called Synology. Synology is the NAS, but it is Synergy. Not Synology, it's Synergy. So close. So, but that does is lets me use one keyboard and mouse on 2 different computers. And I just move my mouse to the end of the computer screen, and then it jumps over to this computer. So very handy. Useful tool and everything. This space is in my house, and right outside these doors is kids and dinner and everything else. And back there, I've got too much gear. And cables and more cables and things. So lots of organization in here, lots of materials, so that when I want to demo something, when I want to test something, if I need another HDMI cable, if I need another Ethernet cable, if I need USB-C, USB 3, GH4 accessories, they're all right here. And you can see this big Wi-Fi thing I'm testing here. But you can hear the audio is pretty good in here. When I'm in the filming space, the filming space is pretty good. I get a little bit of echo from the monitors, so less screens facing me I think would be good, or I don't really know how else you could work on that. One thing I would love to fix is my HVAC is literally right there. So when I'm arranged the other way, it's not that much of an issue, but I do hear the difference when the HVAC is blowing and when it's not blowing. And in Texas, it's blowing cool air a lot. So a larger vent that doesn't make as much noise, that would be something that I would recommend that the owner of this studio do something about. And more carpet in here to absorb more distant reflections, but there's actually enough clutter on the walls to break up reflections mostly, but there's also sound tiles on the walls. There's sound tile over there. That dark stuff is all sound tiles. I've got carpet on this wall, 7 feet of carpet on this wall, vertical, as well as 2 layers of fabric. So I've got a good amount of sound dampening, and I think you can hear that the sound is pretty good. But at the same time, it could always be improved. The lighting can be improved. The prompter could be improved. The microphone. I think the microphone is pretty good. A little bit more directional microphone I think would be good. Less clutter. I could definitely see less clutter being good. Fix this set, extend the set properly. That would be good. One of the things I didn't mention was this table and the camera platform are actually not attached, so that when I touch something and I move it and I bang, the camera never moves because the camera is on a whole separate thing, separate from this table and all of these gear. So if I'm tapping, the switchers and things like that, that sound is never transferred to the microphone or the cameras. So that was a good process to establish. And then I also have over here, I have another laptop that is dedicated, dedicated gear, dedicated stuff. So I'm not using my DSLRs, I'm not using other production cameras for my studio. This studio camera stays here. It does not move. This is where it is. Sometimes I change it between 4K and HD or different things like that, but by and large, it's a dedicated piece of gear for that. And that is one of the things I always advise. This stays here. These things stay in this place. Now, if somebody wanted to hire me and the YOLO box was the right tool for the job, yes, I'd unplug it and take it with me. And that's how that would be done. But I think this has been a good roasting, not really roasting, but talking about how I have set up my studio for me. Again, everybody's own production solution is going to be individual to them. It's going to suit their particular needs. Like, you can't really hear it, but right out here, I can hear that dinner's being prepared and getting ready. And it would be better if I had more sound dampening between the studio space and the rest of the home. Another set of doors or something, to provide another layer. That would be good. And I would recommend to the studio owner of the studio space that they would look at that to reduce the other household sounds from coming into their studio space. That's what I would recommend. But this has been a look at my studio as part of the Studio Critique series here on StreamTEK. And I hope looking at my studio maybe has given you an idea or two. And hopefully you understand that even where I'm at, there's always things that I'm looking to improve. There's things that I know need to be fixed and things that annoy me and things that I know about, but I am kind of okay with right now. But Everybody's studio solution is going to be unique. What works for me is not going to work for you, but what works for you is going to be what you have to divine for yourself. And hopefully there's been a couple things here that can help you along your journey to your proper studio space. My name is Anthony Barocas for StreamTEK. Thanks for watching.